Welcome back to another episode of Sound Pals You Go to the Movies. This is another Throwback Thursday review, and today I'll be reviewing the movie The Devil's Advocate. And just a fair warning, there's going to be spoilers up ahead, so you've been warned. An exceptionally adept Florida lawyer is offered a job at a high-end New York City law firm with a high-end boss, the biggest opportunity of his career to date. So let's begin with my first pro. We got a nice cast: Keanu Reeves, Al Pacino, and Charlize Theron as the main characters, and they play the roles very well. Al Pacino is a vet actor, and Charlize was a new upcoming actress, and Keanu was just very popular at that moment, and it was right before The Matrix. We also have Delroy Lindo, the guy with the animal sacrifices, Jeffrey Jones as Eddie Barzon, we got Connie Nielsen as Christabella, Craig T. Nelson as Alex Cullen, and also we have some real politicians in the film playing themselves. Next pro, Al Pacino's acting as the devil was great. I mean, the way he carried himself and delivered key lines like "Vanity, definitely my favorite sin," and "Don't get too cocky, my boy. No matter how good you are, don't ever let them see you coming." And also, free will. It's like butterfly wings. Once you touch them, they never get off the ground. No, I only set the stage. You pull your own strings. All these lines, when you first watch the film and you hear them, they're great. But then when you rewatch the film, knowing who Al Pacino is playing, it just hits different, and you're like, God damn, why didn't I catch this? Next pro, just like John Milton said, lawyers are the devil's ministry. Just the idea of the film that had the devil running a law firm and how they connected it to an actual religion or beliefs, and some of the more questionable cases, was nicely done, and showing how money and power can get you anything in life, and that's what everybody's after. But then you ask yourself, who is behind all of it? And you have Milton standing right there. I never read the book, but I expected to have more of these little small hints and examples of how us humans live life with our own priorities all messed up. Just like Kevin wanted to win the case first versus taking care of his ill wife, because he knew if he would have left the case to help her, he would hate her for it, even though he claimed that he loved her so much. Next pro, the character of Keanu Reeves, Kevin Lomax, and Al Pacino, John Milton / the devil, and how they went back and forth with their lines. During the first watch, you are like, okay, that was good. But then during a second watch, you're like, God damn, they are actually low-key fighting with those lines and the delivery of them. But then at the end, we are just left with the simple free will and vanity. And we are like, God damn it, this was a real good film. And now onto my cons. So the whole fire opening scene, you can tell that they were like, so the movie's about the devil? And right away they were like, we need flames in the opening and the credit scenes. So get on it, special effects team. Versus them doing something along the lines of showing real court cases with morals and values that are in the Bible, and they were the focus in the case, and also having the bad guy go innocent, or the simple way of having artwork depicting God versus the devil, or religious figures like angels and demons. For me, that would actually serve a better purpose than the whole thing about just fire and fire and fire, which kind of got really boring at the beginning and also at the end. Next con, only one thing about Al Pacino's acting that really threw me off, and maybe it's because I speak Spanish, was the subway exchange with the guy who tried to stab him. That part, you can tell that there were so many takes, or it was heavily edited, since maybe Al Pacino was just recording one line at a time. Also, the scene with Keanu Reeves and Charlize Theron in the church, you can tell by the editing and over the shorter cuts that they had to re-record some audio in post-production before they edited the whole scene, because some of the things they do not match, and it gets a little frustrating. In that scene, they used way too many cuts. Why not just keep it a center shot of both characters in the church facing the camera, and behind them some religious figures, statues of saints, or something that would show Charlie's character going there to feel safe and just be away from Milton? But hey, that's just me. Also, just wanted to add, it's not a con or a pro. Was it me, or did that scene with Eddie Barzon running in the park before being killed, did that remind anybody of the scene in Marathon Man? The scene when the main character is running in the park and then he starts running after a runner? I'm not sure if it was meant to be similar to it, or it's just me just thinking too much or just being weird. So my grade for this movie is going to be an 8 out of 10. The story overall was great. Still never read the book. I loved how they had lines like, are we negotiating? And the reply always went back and forth between the characters, or the last line, vanity, definitely my favorite sin. And also the idea of the devil and lawyers being on the same level of work was great, and the acting by Keanu and Al Pacino, especially in the ending confrontation, was great, and how they went back and forth, and with the final line that won it, free will. But there are some things that made this film seem a little bad, like the bad special effects or Al Pacino's Spanish. They seem to keep recording line by line and then editing editing it to seem like he said it in one full take. But overall, great movie. I would recommend it to people who haven't watched it, especially if you follow it up with maybe like Constantine. I think that would be a fun night. Keanu going from a lawyer in this film to an English exorcist and an occult detective in Constantine. Then follow up by John Wick, him being a badass, just showing the evolution of Keanu Reeves acting. So that does it for this review of The Devil's Advocate. Please join us next time where we're going to review The Bad News Bears from 1976.
Are you crazy? An intentional walk with the bases empty? This is baseball, not backgammon.
My first baseman's lonely.
Please like, comment, and subscribe. You can find our social media links below. And like always, keep watching movies.